Hello, hello. This is our live stream that we discuss search, AI, and all the trends that come with it. We have plenty of discuss every week because it's moving so fast. But today is not exactly the new topic. We've been thinking about that for many, many months. I have been the one who has always been saying SEO remains SEO, but I changed my mind. I will explain during this video. Before that, quick introduction. I'm Anne Smarty. I have been an SEO for more than 20 years. Now, together with search engines, we are evolving also as an AI optimization team. So we are going to talk about that today. I'm the co-founder of Smarty Marketing. Today with me and always April, our social media director, our outreach manager, Reddit expert, so many useful roles that she is helping us with her very diverse expertise. Not as much SEO, and that is good for this live streams because I can talk about something that people do not really understand. And it's funny how many business owners cannot still even fully understand how SEO works. And we have a client like that where every call every week is a little bit of education of how it works, what needs to be done, what is right, what is wrong. And now there are so many other acronyms to think about that I cannot even get started them on those. So I understand the confusion in the industry for business owners. That is a nightmare to keep up. I'm here with you. I'm learning just like everyone else in our industry. Every week, I bring something for you to clarify what is going on, why it is important, and how to go about that. The most important thing, I've always tried to make this quick lunch talks with you very actionable. It's not just theory anymore. Today we're going to be discussing a few new terms in our industry. I still remain confident that SEO is still fundamental to everything that's going on. We started the industry to facilitate the relationship between the machine and human beings. AI optimization is pretty much the same. We make sure that businesses are relevant and accessible, known to the machine for them to bring them up as solutions to problems. So the fundamental part is really the same. It has always been like that. But there are other things to keep in mind because AI platforms, generative AI platforms, do not work exactly like traditional search engines. And that is important to know why we do need to call those tactics for AI optimization something else to distinguish the difference between the old traditional SEO and what we need to do to be still findable when those search results and answers are AI generated. And this is the topic of today. Again, I'll try to make it as clear as I can. AnneSmarty.com is where my newsletter lives, and there is a long explanation of everything that I'm going to sum up today, and I will give you some takeaways. But for more information, more examples, and more theory and references, please check out AnneSmarty.com. This is where I also announce the topic for this live stream so you can be even more educated and have more background when watching us discuss those. Please ask questions. We live stream to multiple platforms. First, and Smarty is my LinkedIn. That's where we live stream every week, 1 p.m. EST. We also live stream to Twitter, SEO Smarty. We also live stream to our Facebook page, Smarty Marketing. You can find it if you search for Smarty Marketing. And we also live stream to YouTube. There I'm and Smarty as well. Whatever you prefer, please ask those questions from the platform that you are watching us from, and we will make sure that we'll either cover them on this live stream or we will address them afterwards through those social media channels. I love questions because that's how I can have more ideas for these cool live stream videos. So today, again, the topic is search engine optimization and the new AI optimization acronyms. There are multiple, just so you know, not only those that I'm going to discuss. I can name them. We are making already jokes about those with my subscribers. They suggest even more names. But the main one is generative engine optimization. It has been around for more than a year. If you were subscribed to my newsletter probably like a year ago, you would have received that email where I first mentioned that term, generative engine optimization. And I think that my subject of the newsletter was, is it the future of SEO? Well, it looks like it is the future of SEO because more and more executives are calling it GEO. For better or for worse, not a big fan of that acronym because it's terribly brandable. If you search for GEO in Google, you will find everything else but nothing about AI optimization. In my newsletter, I use just two acronyms. So first one is GEO, Generative Engine Optimization, and the other one is more generic AI optimization. I think for now, I'll stick to these terms. There are many more. Just so you know, I'm noting them on my LinkedIn, and not to forget. So there are also AEO, that is answer engine optimization. And those include not just new AI answer engines, but also optimization for people to ask, featured snippets. Makes sense, but I think that our AI optimization acronym should be more about AI because it is not the same as featured snippet algorithm. Absolutely not. It's a different, it works not the same way as search engines. Now there is also GSO, that generative search optimization. I do not quite agree with that one because AI platforms probably are not really search engines and not so GSO, not really liking that one. LEO, that's LLM language optimization. Well, LLM engine optimization. I don't know. My big concern with that one from talking to AI developers, they believe that there is another AI technology being developed that does not rely on LLM. So that could be a short-lived acronym. But as an industry, we do have to have something that all is to be used for AI for sure, because it's a different algorithm. It's not search. So for now, before I change my mind, I'm sticking to two acronyms. So there is GEO and AIO, generative engine optimization and AI optimization. As you can see, I'm not quite used to either of those either. So what those are, and let me share the image that I also have in my newsletter. I think it makes it much easier to understand what I'm talking about. So as you can see, there are two sections in most AI platforms. They may be designed in different ways. This is AI mode. Gemini looks very similar to that. ChatGPT also looks very similar. So there are answers and there are citations. Those are two different technologies. They work absolutely differently. So the optimization for both of them is also absolutely different strategies. That's why we need at least two acronyms for that. AI optimization is optimizing brands and websites to be included in the answer as well itself. So if you want to be part of the solution that ChatGPT, Gemini, AI mode gives to people's prompts and queries, that is optimizing for being in the AI answer. Now, there are also citations and references to those answers that people can click. Not many will, I suppose, because the answers are really great. But if you want to be cited and referenced as the source for that answer, that is an absolutely different technology that is called generative engine optimization. And those could be also optimization strategies for AI search engines. We know there are at least two now. There is Perplexity and there is GPT search. Those two can also fall into this category. So anytime you want to be referenced as the source, as the link, as the reference, that is GEO. So that is my distinguishing of these two terms. It may evolve. 6 months ago, I was even against new terms overall. I was saying it's SEO. I still think it is, fundamentally it is SEO, but I can see why those two exist. I will explain what they involve so you can get the idea too. Those could change. Again, we are in the middle of everything happening. So what happens tomorrow, what Google calls it, as you know, SEO was like that as well. It was adopted by Google, and that's when it became known. What other brands, what other voices use, that could change everything, and I'm not the one to argue with anyone. I will use the term that is mainstream. Right now, looks like these two are more popular than any other, so that's what we're sticking with. I wish I know how to remove this image now. Okay, thank you, April. April did the trick. So let's talk about each of those. So AI optimization, how do those AI answers work? They do not, none of the known AI platforms store URLs. They don't know where they get information from. Think about your real mind. When you recall something you know and you can answer the question, you don't necessarily know where you source that information from. That's exactly how AI platforms and algorithms work. They have their training data, and when someone asks the question, they get it from their existing training data. They update that training data. Every platform is different at how fast they update that data. Claudia is the slowest. Gemini is the quickest because it does rely on Google's knowledge and Google's index. ChatGPT is somewhere in the middle, but much faster than when it started. When it started, went back to like 5 years ago. Now it's pretty up to date, but still not as fast as Gemini. So they update that training data, but they do not store the references. They basically don't know where they are getting those answers from. So when you ask the question and you want to be part of the answer, you need to be part of that training data. They don't know which website you have, unless that's your brand name. They don't know which URL they knew about you from, but they know which context your brand is referenced in. And the more consistent that digital footprint, that training data around your brand is, the higher the probability is that you will show up in the answer as the solution to a specific problem. Last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, if you check nsmarty.com, you will find that newsletter when I was talking about differentiating yourself as a brand and narrow down, know exactly which problems you are solving for each segment of demographics or your audience. Know exactly how you're solving them and how you stand out in the competitors. This is key to being part of the training data. It's not about really number of contexts that you show up in. Yes, it is a good idea to be in as many as you can, but it's also the relevant context that is specific to that problem. I'll give a quick idea. So when someone is searching for something like, I need to buy shoes, but I need to be able to try them on. what Gemini or ChatGPT will be thinking, how they will be thinking about this prompt. So they know you need shoes, you know you want to buy them. They can give you both local and online web stores where you can. If it's online store, they will be thinking, okay, there should be very good free return policies, but also a good option will be if that brand has try before you buy option, because that's the base case scenario when you don't have to pay until you are sure that you are not returning those products, so you don't have to think about those refunds. So what the criteria for an online retailer is: it's online, it sells shoes, it has free returns, possibly if it's 30-day returns, and if they allow you to try before you buy. If your brand has digital footprint where you're mentioned in the context of these 4 concepts, then you will be likely the answer to that problem, or at least one of the answers. That is how it works. If you are a shoe store, like if you sell shoes, but you don't have other things that are in the prompt, you will not be the answer to that question. So being very well defined through your own site, through your social media content, through your blog, through your external earned media sources, when you are actually, when people talk about you on Reddit, on Google reviews, anywhere they can leave reviews, they talk about these great options: great shoe quality, great returns, and they let you try before you buy. So you need to make sure that all your digital, the majority, the most part of everything, of everyone talking about you online, is talking about these 3 things. Those are your value proposition specifics that you want to make very clear to people and to AI engines. That's how you are part of the AI answer. If you are vague, if you're trying to be good at everything, AI is very easily confused. And this is where my problem lies as well as a personal brand, because throughout 20 years, more than 20 years in my SEO career, I happen to be known by many things. I started as the search engine journal blogger, and then expert, and then editor. Then I became guest blogging expert, that is about content marketing. Then I became known as search analyst and community manager for Internet Marketing Ninjas. Now I trying to pivot to AI because that's where most businesses are concerned about and lost and confused about too. So there are too many things that I'm known for. So which question I'm the answer for, and that their AI can be confused. If you are building your digital footprint, or you are looking back at that, that's what you need to fix. So if I were to fix that, I would go to all my bios, even old one, those that are 15 years, 20 years old. I would go to all my social media profiles, old interviews, old podcasts that introduce me as an expert in something else, and I would ask them, please edit everything that my bio or my expertise or something that mentioned all those mentions around the web. I would say them, please, now can I be AI expert? For example, I'm not even yet sure what I want to be known for, but that's exactly what I need to figure out. Just like any other brand, that's what they need to know. Which context I want to be in, that is what is going to be in the training data. It's not just external articles or press releases or even your blog. If you think about that, if you've heard that HubSpot removed like 30% of their articles that do not talk about conversions, CRMs, that are just about something else, they removed that from that blog. And in this context, that is not such a bad idea to be really, really relevant on your site as well. That would be the first step. looking at your site, and instead of trying to fake EEAT signals, as most SEOs think that is how it works, instead of that, actually talk about your product positioning, brand positioning, your actual value proposition, and how it is different and unique based on your competition, which problems you are solving, for who, and why you're best at that. That is AI optimization. That is how you become part of the answers, solution to problems people are searching using AI platforms. Now, GEO is a different, absolutely different technology. After the answer is generated and it is determined that it is helpful for people to also have links to further reading, because sometimes AI can think, wait, this is a very factual answer. I know for sure what question, I know for sure what the answer is. This is what you need, and there will be no links at all. But when the AI decides that it needs to be further research, those people may benefit from actually clicking the links and seeing more information there. They do a separate call. They do separate search, and that's different platforms do it differently. Gemini relies on pretty much in Google's index. ChatGPT relies on several things, including Bing index. So they call URLs, and whichever is more easy to understand and easy to figure out, they pull as the source. So sometimes actual answers do not include actual sources. That would be different set of URLs. To get to that point, that is where GEO works. You do need very clear wording. You do need answers, one paragraph answers to heading, to questions in headers. That is very similar to how we optimized for featured snippets. You need very factual, clear answers, no vague words, no extra information, just clear answer to a clear question. That's how AI make it easy for AI to pull those answers and reference you as the source. Schema is great as well, makes it easier if you have FAQs. Why don't you use FAQ schema, organization schema? You can find those schema generators on our website, smarter.marketing, and generate schema for your site to make it easier for AI to pull essential information from your site and from your URLs. So that GEO part is much more similar to SEO. The only difference there is, again, fan out technique, the one that we were already talking about during some of our other live streams. That is when AI is trying not just give the answer to the query, to the prompt or to the query, but also try to expand to something people might find useful to make more informed decisions. Instead of just listing solutions or just listing brands, they may also want to give information on how to make a better choice, what else to check, what else to find, what else to ask. So that would be their way to make it more helpful. Optimization for those fan out queries is basically the guessing game. What I can suggest is just use your common sense, your knowledge of your customers, what they might find helpful. Also, BuzzSumo does a great semantic analysis for any keyword and generates related questions, not just directly relevant questions. And also Gemini 2.5 Pro and other platforms are now showing reasoning, what they are thinking about for every prompt. So you can try that as well, ask something that is relevant to your brand and where you want to be referenced, and you will see exactly how Gemini is thinking in terms of what else someone will need as to answer that question. Finally, and link building. Link building is still key as well. That's why it's all actually SEO, because we still keep talking about the same tactics, but they're a little bit reframed to those specifics of how AI works. Again, link building is great if you do that right, if those links put you in the right context. You do need co-citation links that is mentioned next to your competitors, great PR links that is talking about unique data, uniqueness of your site as well. That's what we specialize in, so ask us how that could happen. Reddit mentions, even those they may be not links but just mentions, is great as well, because Reddit is being used by both Google and OpenAI for their AI training data, so having presence there is very important. So all of those are great methods to generate backlinks and brand mentions in very relevant context based on what you are doing. I hope I made it a little bit clearer. So what is SEO here? SEO is all of that. All of those tactics will help with organic search as well, while we still have it. So it's not like something extra you have to be doing for AI, a little bit of repackaging of what you're currently doing, knowing how AI works. That's what those two acronyms are. And finally, SEO is search everywhere optimization. That's how we call it now. So it's not just about search engines like Google, it's optimizing for everything, for every intent-based online discovery. When people ask us searching for solutions to their problems, that is intent-based. Traditional search engines, AI search engines, AI answer generators, all of those are the same idea. They are intent-based product or brand discovery, and so SEO is all of that. I'm very tired of talking. That was a big topic. The newsletter is very long again, and smarty.com, please check it out. And I have time for a few questions as well.
We have a great question from Lisa.
What good is the AIO when there are no links? It looks like GEO is more important for clicks. That depends of how you make money. If you're a publisher, yes, you want to be in the link section. But most businesses and most of our clients and most of everyone, all SEO clients, are not about having content that needs clicks. They are about brand visibility. They can convert in sales. So if you want to be named as the destination for buying shoes, buying something else, being a top lawyer, being a top SEO expert, if you want to be there as the answer to the problem, that is the best conversion rate you can only think of. It's even better than Google's conversions because somehow AI answers are trusted more at this point. So depending on your business model and how you make money, it could vary. For most businesses, e-commerce, retail, SaaS, services, you want to be part of the answer as well, not just clicks. Clicks are not as important for those businesses as conversions. And that's how conversions happen when you become the answer to the specific problem. Hope that makes sense.
So I'll ask one of my questions. So like I guess this is kind of a long one. We don't have much time left. So how can small brands compete with major brands and eyes if it's more brand driven now when what comes up in the results?
So it's not as much about brand awareness at this point, which is something we were talking about in context of traditional Google search. When the more mentions you have, the more links you have, the more visible you are. For AI, it's more important how relevant you are to a specific problem. So how you can compete, you can be very specific about what and why you are solving, and which customers are better served by you and others. I can give a quick example from like groceries shopping. I have 3 stores in my neighborhood. They are all pretty much the same distance from my house. One of them is organic. The other one is local. The third one is cheap, Walmart. Depending on what I need, or depending on my budget, if I have to buy a lot of a huge crowd, where would I go? I would go to Walmart. If I buy something for like for dinner, I probably go to organic store or local. I have favorite products in my local store. This is pretty much AI mind is working as well, depending on the needs in the prompt. Regardless that Walmart is the hugest of all of these 3 options. Regardless of that, I will not choose Walmart if it does not fit my specific needs at this specific problem. So the job of a small business is to make it very clear what needs you are serving, very specific needs. Every business has those. That will not only get you visibility in those specific for those specific prompts, but it will also help you with your return customers, with your word of mouth. So it's not just for AI to be known by something very specific and to solve very specific problems. So it's not just for AI. You will see much better results from your other marketing channels, including organic search as well. So it's such a beautiful thing to do. It's not just how well you're covered. You may not be in like mentioned in New York Times, but you mentioned on local or very niche specific publications that are providing you with very specific context. And that is the training data for AI. And next time he has a prompt with that specific problem, you will likely be the answer. We didn't cover all the questions. I'm already it was a big topic. We will definitely go back to that at some point. Next week we will be discussing Reddit, because we do have a very good Reddit statistical research published on Smart Marketing blog. Check it out. It has a lot of insights into how businesses are struggling with Reddit visibility and how there is no good solution for them unless they just do not do anything about that. We will talk about that next week to have a little break from AI, because we've been talking about AI for the past 3 or 4 weeks. So to have a little break, we'll talk about Reddit to cover our research and possible solutions that businesses can utilize. And then we'll return about to AI optimization as well. So we have great questions like the role of keyword research in AI, how that can be done, and how keyword research is different, but still is the only data that we have is actually keywords. So there are lots of other things to discuss here. We'll return to that topic for sure. Please subscribe nsmarter.com not to miss any of our videos, because I hope they are very useful for you. And watch us in replay as well. They are all on LinkedIn, Twitter, and elsewhere. Thank you so much and have a great week. Thank you, April, too. Bye bye. And I hope AI is much clearer to you now.